Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, turbulent sea. The waves crash with relentless fury, each one a problem rushing upon your shore. You feel overwhelmed, beaten down by the thunderous tide of worries, doubts, and challenges. But inside you, a quiet voice whispers, what if you stopped focusing on the storm itself? What if, instead, you turned your gaze, sharply and deliberately, toward the calm, steady light shining just beyond the chaos? This audiobook is your invitation to shift that gaze, to step beyond the noise of problems and discover the transformative power of focusing on solutions. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Because the moment you start seeing what can be done, what can be built, the impossible begins to feel inevitable. Join me on a journey through 10 chapters, where together we will unravel the secret to enduring resilience, unstoppable creativity, and profound peace of mind. This is more than advice. This is a revolution in the way you think, feel, and prepare to change everything by focusing not on the storms you face, but the solutions waiting just beyond your horizon. Chapter 1. The Problem Trap. Why we get stuck. Imagine waking up one morning, and as soon as your eyes open, a storm of thoughts rushes inside your mind. Problems crowd your awareness like dark clouds blotting out the sun. Bills to pay, deadlines to meet, conflicts unresolved. A relentless torrent pouring down, blurring your view. You reach for clarity, but get caught in the swirling wind, spinning round and round, wound a way out. This moment, the moment you feel overwhelmed, is where so many of us get trapped. We believe that focusing on the problem is the only way forward. After all, problems demand attention. They push us, poke at us, unsettle us. They scream for solutions, yet somehow make those solutions feel out of reach. It's a paradox we all know. The harder we stare at what's wrong, the more stuck we become. Why does this happen? Because the mind naturally leans into what feels urgent and threatening. Problems ignite fear, frustration, and doubt, emotions that hold us hostage and cloud our thinking. Like quicksand, the more you struggle, the deeper you sink. But here's a quiet truth you might not have heard before. Problems themselves are not your enemies. They contain no power, except what you give them. When you fixate on a problem, you inflate it, magnifying its size and weight far beyond reality. Picture this: you're walking through a forest, and suddenly spot a tangled web across your path. If you only focus on the snarls and knots, it looks impossible to pass. But if you lift your gaze just a little, you'll see a hidden trail curving around the thicket. The problem is still there, yes, but it no longer blocks your way. This is the essence of the problem trap. It's a narrowing of attention so intense that you lose sight of any alternatives. Your energy and mind become all tangled up in what's wrong, and every exit feels closed. We all get caught here from time to time. The question isn't if, but how and when you decide to break free. Breaking free from this trap begins with awareness. It means recognizing the spiral of worry before it sweeps you away. It is the moment you pause and choose to step back, not to ignore the problem, but to refuse being owned by it. By shifting your focus, you create space to breathe, to think, to discover new angles. Solutions don't appear out of nowhere. They emerge when your mind isn't obsessed with the problem's weight, but curious about the possibilities beyond it. This doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist. It means refusing to live as if they defined your every moment. You start seeing problems not as walls, but as challenges you can face with an open heart and agile mind. And here's something even more profound. The way you see your problems shapes how you feel. When your mind is trapped in the what's wrong, you feel small, powerless, defeated. But when you open your vision to what's possible, you awaken strength, hope, and courage, the raw ingredients for real change. Think of this process as changing the channel on a radio. The static of problems can drown out your inner voice. But by tuning into a new frequency, you hear something brighter: solutions, opportunities, momentum. It takes intention, yes. It takes practice. But every moment spent focused on what you can control, on what you can create, chips away at the hold problems have on your spirit. There is freedom in that. A freedom born of recognition that you are not bound by the troubles you face. You are, instead, defined by the choices you make about where to direct your attention. Throughout this audiobook, you will learn how to build that muscle, the skill of shifting your focus from problems to solutions. But first, it's essential to accept that this shift is not always easy. The brain, wired for survival, favors problem fixation. It fears letting go. So, start gently. Notice the moments you feel stuck in the problem trap. Name the feelings without judgment. Ask yourself, is my attention serving me right now, or trapping me? These questions begin a revolution within, a movement that leads to greater awareness and control. As you continue, remember this: problems are not your identity. They are part of life's landscape, but not the destination. Your power lies in your ability to see beyond the storm to the horizon where solutions quietly wait. This first step, awakening from the problem trance, is the foundation upon which everything else builds. Without it, no strategy, no optimism, no action will last. But with it, the door swings open to new ways of thinking, feeling, and living. The awareness that you can choose where your mind goes is a spark of liberation. And so the journey begins, not away from your problems, but through and beyond them, towards something stronger, clearer, and more fulfilling. The next chapter will guide you in shifting your perspective, the essential skill that turns challenges into opportunities. Are you ready to see what lies beyond the storm, to glimpse the light that has always been there, just waiting for your gaze? Step forward now. The path to focus on solutions starts here. Chapter 2: The Power of Perspective. Seeing beyond the storm. Look closely at the world around you, and you'll see it isn't just made of things, it's made of layers, colors, and viewpoints. What you see depends on where you stand, how you look, and what lens you choose to wear. A single scene can feel like a disaster from one angle, and a chance for growth from another. This is the secret power we all hold: perspective. Imagine you're standing on a mountain, staring out over a valley shrouded in fog. From where you stand, you are safe, solid, and can see beyond the mist to what lies on the other side. But if you were down in the valley, surrounded by the cold, thick fog, you might feel lost, overwhelmed, and trapped. The valley hasn't changed, only your viewpoint has. In the same way, the problems you face aren't inherently bigger or heavier. They simply appear that way depending on how you choose to see them. Perspective is not about denying reality, pretending problems don't exist, or masking pain with blind optimism. It's about choosing a frame of mind that invites clarity, curiosity, and courage. This choice transforms the story your mind tells you about your troubles. Instead of believing, "I am stuck," you say, "How can I learn from this? What options do I have here?" Instead of feeling crushed by the weight of challenges, you see stepping stones, invitations to new possibilities. Why does this shift matter so much? Because perspective shapes your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your outcomes. A mind trapped in negativity narrows, closes, retreats. A mind open to new angles expands, explores, pushes forward. Consider the story of the two men who fell into a hole. One cursed the darkness, the other lit a match. The whole was exactly the same for both, but their perspectives made all the difference. And perspective isn't a fixed thing, it's fluid and dynamic. You can cultivate it intentionally, like a gardener tends to a prized plant. You can learn to lift your gaze when the fog rolls in, to tilt your head and seek a new way of understanding. How? One powerful way is the practice of asking questions that open rather than close your mind. Instead of "why me?" try "what can this teach me?" Instead of "what's wrong here?" ask "what's possible now?" These questions act like a compass, pointing you towards solutions and away from paralysis. Another way is through storytelling, not just hearing stories, but reauthoring your own. Every experience, every problem, is part of a larger narrative. When you shift your perspective, you rewrite the plot. You become not a victim of circumstance, but the hero navigating a meaningful journey. When Eleanor Roosevelt faced tremendous challenges, she did not see herself as broken or defeated. She chose to view her setbacks as stepping stones, lessons rich with wisdom. Perspective gave her strength to rise again and again. You don't have to be extraordinary to harness this power. You only need willingness. Willingness to pause, to breathe, and to move beyond your immediate view. There is also a deeper spiritual dimension to perspective. Beyond the surface of problems lies a landscape of possibility. When you view life through this lens, every challenge becomes a veil hiding a gift. It's not magic, it is a recognition that reality is multifaceted and your consciousness shapes what you perceive. This awareness invites patience, humility, and hope. It invites you to trust the process, even when the path is not yet clear. Take a moment now to think about a problem pressing on you. How have you been seeing it? Is it like standing deep in the valley, surrounded by fog? What could change if you climbed just a little higher, opened your eyes wider? Remember, shifting perspective doesn't erase problems, but it changes your relationship with them. It transforms fear into curiosity, resistance into flow. As you journey through life, your ability to adjust your viewpoint becomes your greatest tool, not just for solving problems, but for discovering new parts of yourself. This chapter is your invitation to practice this art of perspective, to become aware when you are caught in narrow, limiting views, and to seek the broader horizon. Because beyond every storm is a sky waiting to clear. Beyond every shadow, a light ready to shine. The next step on this path is the science and spirit of solution-focused thinking, the deliberate mental practice of tuning your mind to the possibilities, the options, the what can be. That is where genuine transformation begins, when perspective meets purposeful action. Are you ready to turn the lens even further? To meet your challenges not as obstacles, but as openings? Step with me into that world in the next chapter. Chapter 3, Solution-Focused Thinking. The Science and Spirit. What if the very way you think could reshape your reality? Imagine your mind as a garden, its soil rich with potential, and your thoughts as seeds. What you choose to plant will grow. When your mind focuses on problems, those seeds sprout weeds of anxiety, doubt, and frustration. But when your attention turns to solutions, hope blooms, creativity takes root, and strength flourishes. Solution-focused thinking is more than a technique. It is a way of being, a conscious, deliberate choice to guide your mind toward what can be done rather than what is broken. It's a force that shifts you from feeling powerless to empowered, from confusion to clarity. But does this really work? The answer lies beautifully intertwined in the science of the brain and the spirit of conscious awareness. Recent discoveries in neuroscience reveal that your brain is wired for focus. Whatever you attend to grows stronger in your neural networks. When you repeatedly focus on problems, your brain deepens pathways for stress, worry, and negative thinking. This creates a downward spiral that weighs you down, making it harder to see solutions. Conversely, when you focus on solutions, when your thoughts turn to possibilities, actions, and outcomes, you strengthen new neural paths. You train your brain to scan for answers, to spot opportunities that were invisible before. It's not magic. It's a mental habit that rewires your experience. Imagine training your brain like a muscle. The more often you engage in solution-focused thinking, the larger and more resilient that muscle becomes. It supports you in facing challenges with calm clarity and creative energy. But there is something more profound beneath the science, the spirit of this mindset. It is the deep knowing that every problem carries within it the seed of its own solution. This is a universal truth woven into the fabric of life itself. When a young tree bends to a storm, the wind's force also strengthens its roots. When a river faces a rock, it flows around it, carving new channels and shaping the landscape. The universe itself moves through challenges by embodying the spirit of solution-focused flow. This mindset is not about ignoring the pain or pretending problems don't exist. It is about choosing to meet life's storms with intentional focus, curiosity, and creativity. It requires faith, not blind faith in outcomes, but faith in your capacity to respond, adapt, and create what is needed. Consider the story of Maya, a woman who lost her job unexpectedly. Instead of drowning in despair, she began to ask, "What can I learn here? What new door is opening?" This simple shift opened her mind to new skills, connections, and eventually a career she had never imagined. Her solution-focused thinking transformed crisis into opportunity. This chapter invites you to foster this way of thinking in your own life. It is a practice grounded both in science and soul. The pathways of your mind respond to where you place your attention, and your spirit rises when you see problems not as dead ends, but as invitations to invent new roads. How do you start? Begin by noticing where your mind lingers. Catch yourself when the tide of problem-focused thought begins rising. Then gently guide it towards solutions, however small or tentative. Ask questions like, "What is one thing I can do right now?" Or, "Who or what can help me here?" Small, intentional shifts build momentum and create a ripple effect. Over time, your brain and spirit align toward a brighter, more productive way of being. Remember, this is not perfection. Some days will be harder, some problems will be stubborn, but the commitment to focus on solutions plants a seed that with care will grow into resilience, creativity, and hope. Your mind is a powerful instrument. It can entangle you in problems or lead you into possibility. And the difference lies in the simple, profound choice of where you put your attention. As you move forward in this journey, prepare to explore how small actions, tiny wins, create unstoppable momentum, because solution-focused thinking alone is the spark. Sustained change comes when you act on that spark again and again. In the next chapter, we will uncover that art, the art of small wins, and how it shapes lasting transformation. Are you ready to feed your mind the thoughts that nourish growth? To find strength, not despite your problems, but through your focus on solutions? Step forward now. Your brain and soul await this next embrace. Chapter 4. The Art of Small Wins. Building Momentum. There is a quiet magic in small victories. Imagine a single drop of water, nearly invisible as it falls to the earth. Alone, it seems insignificant. But drop by drop, those tiny beads create streams, rivers, and oceans. In the same way, small actions, those seemingly minor steps forward, have a power that quietly builds until it becomes unstoppable momentum. If you have ever faced a towering challenge, you know how daunting it can feel to take just one step. The mountain looms large, and standing at its base may fill you with doubt. But here is the truth. No mountain is climbed in a single leap. Each successful ascent begins with a first, manageable step. The art of focusing on small wins teaches us to honor those steps, not as trivial distractions, but as the very foundation of real lasting change. Think of the way a sculptor begins. The great statue in marble does not emerge from a single strike of a chisel, but from hundreds, thousands of gentle, precise taps. Each chip is a small win, gradually revealing the masterpiece hidden within. In your own journey of focusing on solutions, small wins serve three essential purposes. First, they build confidence. Every small success sends a powerful message to your brain. I am capable. It rewires self-doubt into self-belief. You begin to trust not only the possibility of change, but your ability to create it. Second, they create clarity. When overwhelmed by a complex problem, it's easy to freeze. But by breaking the problem into bite-sized pieces and celebrating each success, you reveal what works and what doesn't. Your path forward sharpens. Your energy aligns. Third, they generate momentum, like a snowball rolling down a hill. Each small win gathers size and strength. Momentum pulls you forward when motivation wanes, when fear creeps back in. It becomes a force carrying you steadily toward breakthrough. Picture this: a woman named Sarah faced losing her business. Instead of focusing on the vastness of the crisis, she committed to one small task a day: a phone call, a budget review, a simple marketing email. Those small wins, repeated, rebuilt her confidence and eventually revived her business. Her mountain was still steep, but small wins gave her the strength to climb. The transformative power of small wins is not limited to grand, life-altering problems. It applies everywhere in relationships, health, learning, and creative pursuits. Often the biggest barriers crumble when we stop waiting for giant leaps and embrace the humble but steady rhythm of small victories. But this art requires a shift in mindset. It means redefining what success looks like. It means celebrating progress rather than perfection. In a world obsessed with instant results, small wins feel quiet and humble. Yet those who master this art understand that the greatest transformations are rarely explosive. They are patient, cumulative, and deeply rooted. One step, one win at a time. Practicing this begins with attention. Notice your daily actions and victories, however small. Did you take a deep breath before reacting? Did you reach out for help? Did you pause to recalibrate when emotions rose? These are all wins. Then document them. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Share them if you can. Recognition amplifies their impact, making the intangible concrete. Another key practice is to use setbacks as fuel. When a small win feels distant, return to your last success. Remember how you took a step forward before. This recall rekindles your belief and reignites your momentum. Small wins also unlock creativity. When progress feels slow, these wins reveal patterns and insights, inviting you to experiment and innovate. They open doors that remained unseen from the top-down view of overwhelming problems. Science supports this too. Research shows that people who celebrate small successes feel more motivated, experience less stress, and perform better in tasks, even under pressure. Your brain rewards accomplishment, no matter how modest, releasing dopamine and strengthening your will. But perhaps the most beautiful aspect of small wins is how they nourish your spirit. Each one is a quiet victory against despair. Each one affirms your capacity to create change. Each one reminds you that you are not a passive victim of circumstances, but an active agent crafting your life. There is a greater lesson here. In focusing on solutions, it is not just about fixing problems. It is about rediscovering your power, step by step. Imagine the daily unfolding of life as a dance. The music changes unpredictably, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. The dancer who flows with the rhythm, adjusting steps to the beat, finds grace and joy. The one fixated on a single move or misstep becomes stuck, unable to move forward. Small wins are the steps in that dance, each one allowing you to stay present, engaged, alive. As you develop this skill, you will find that problems lose their fearsome shape. They become a pattern of challenges met with persistent action, curiosity, and hope. And with each small win, the horizon brightens. The mountain feels less steep. The path becomes clearer, balancing ambition with patience, courage with humility, action with reflection. The art of small wins is a masterful dance of life itself. In the next chapter, we will explore how emotional mastery, staying calm amid chaos, supports this dance, preparing you to face obstacles with steady courage. For now, carry this truth. Every big change in history, every personal triumph, began as a single small win. What will your next small win be? That question is your bridge forward. Together, we move step by step, moment by moment, toward a life shaped by the power of solutions. Turn the page and take the next step. Your journey continues. Chapter 5. Emotional Mastery. Staying calm amid chaos. There is a moment in every storm when the wind howls loudest, the sky darkens, and the heart races with fear. In that moment, what you do, not just what you think, defines everything. The way you hold your inner world amid the external chaos shapes your journey more than any circumstance ever could. This is the power of emotional mastery, the ability to remain calm, clear, and centered, even when everything around you feels out of control. Imagine a vast lake at dawn. When the wind rises and storms approach, its surface ripples and roils, but deep beneath, the water remains still, quiet, profound, unshaken. That stillness is not passive. It is alive, strong, and the foundation that will smooth the waters again. Emotional mastery is that stillness inside you. It is not about suppressing feelings or pretending problems don't hurt. It is about recognizing your emotions, welcoming them without judgment, and learning to steer them instead of being swept away. Why does this matter so deeply in focusing on solutions? Because emotions are the undercurrents beneath every thought and action. When fear, frustration, or overwhelm rise, they hijack your focus, cloud your clarity, and silence your creativity. But when you cultivate calm amid chaos, you reclaim your power. The journey to emotional mastery begins with awareness. Notice the signs before emotions flood in: the quickening heartbeat, the tightening chest, the swirling thoughts. By catching these early, you open a moment of choice. Will you react blindly or respond consciously? Techniques like mindful breathing and grounding bring you back to that still lake inside. A simple breath can reset your nervous system and create space for clarity. You become the calm at the center of the storm rather than its helpless victim. Consider the story of a firefighter navigating a raging blaze. Each moment demands rapid decisions under immense pressure. Yet, the best firefighters cultivate emotional mastery. They train to stay calm, focused, and deliberate, even when chaos swirls all around. Their strength is not just physical, it is mental and emotional resilience. We all face our own fires. Perhaps the flames are not literal, but stress, conflict, or uncertainty. Your ability to master emotions is your protective gear, shielding you from burnout and despair. Another essential tool in this mastery is compassionate self-talk. When emotions surge, the voice inside can become harsh and judgmental. I'm not enough. This is hopeless. I can't handle this. These messages feed the fire. Replace them with kindness. Speak to yourself as a wise friend would. I'm doing my best. This will pass. I can find a way through. This gentle voice calms your nervous system and opens the mind to solutions. It's also important to create daily rituals that anchor emotional steadiness. Practices like meditation, journaling, or mindful walks become lifelines. They don't erase problems, but they strengthen your capacity to meet them with grace. Science tells us that cultivating emotional mastery changes the brain. Regular calm states increase growth in areas responsible for empathy, decision-making, and creativity. They decrease activity in regions tied to stress and anxiety. You literally rewire your emotional landscape. Beyond the neuroscience, emotional mastery connects you to a deeper sense of presence, a spiritual center that anchors you when the world feels uncertain. This presence whispers a profound truth. No storm lasts forever. Clear skies will come, and you are here not just to endure, but to navigate, grow, and facing life's challenges. Emotional mastery will become your compass. It grounds your focus on solutions, helps you stay open to possibilities, and fuels your courage to act. Take a moment now to recall a recent time you felt overwhelmed. How did your emotions shape your response? What might have changed if you had paused, breathed, and chosen calm before moving forward? Mastering emotions doesn't mean removing difficulty. It means meeting difficulty with strength, a strength born from quiet resilience within. As you continue, remember, emotional mastery is a skill, a practice, a journey. Some days will be harder. Some waves will surge higher. But each moment you return to your center, you reclaim your power and pave the way for lasting solutions. The next chapter moves into creativity itself, the art of thinking beyond limits and crafting bold, inspired solutions. Emotional mastery prepares you to meet that challenge with an open heart and steady mind. Are you ready to deepen your calm, to turn your inner storm into a wellspring of strength? Step forward now. The path of emotional mastery awaits. Chapter 6. Creative Problem Solving. Beyond Conventional Limits. There is a moment in the life of every true problem solver when the familiar paths stop working. The maps run dry, the usual solutions fall short, and the landscape seems uncharted and vast. In that moment, you face a choice. Retreat into frustration or step boldly beyond convention into the realm of creativity. Creative problem solving is the art of breaking free from the ordinary, the expected, the comfortable. It's the skill of seeing connections others miss, imagining possibilities that seem impossible, and daring to try what has never been tried before. Imagine a master key, forged not from metal, but from imagination and courage. This key unlocks doors that once seemed sealed tight. That is the essence of creativity in problem solving. But creativity is often misunderstood. It's not just a gift reserved for artists or inventors. It is a universal capacity that lives within every human mind, waiting to be awakened and nurtured. The reason creative problem solving is essential lies in the nature of problems themselves. Often, the biggest challenges we face cannot be solved by logic alone or by applying what worked in the past. Problems are complex, layered, and alive, demanding new ways of thinking. Think of the story of the Wright brothers. They didn't just build a better glider, they reimagined the very principles of flight by daring to think differently. Their creativity didn't come from vast resources or formal training, but from relentless curiosity and the willingness to experiment, fail, and try again. Creativity begins with daring to question assumptions. What if everything you believed about your problem changed? What if the impossible was an invitation rather than a barrier? The creative mind challenges the status quo and opens the door to discovery. But creativity is also a practice, not magic. It requires cultivating a mindset that welcomes curiosity, embraces failure as feedback, and stays open to surprises. One powerful technique is lateral thinking, the process of stepping sideways, viewing problems from new angles, and making unexpected connections. Instead of climbing the same mountain, creative thinkers look for hidden tunnels, secret trails, or even entirely new mountains to climb. Consider a puzzle. Staring intensely at one piece won't complete the picture, but shifting your viewpoint, tilting the puzzle, sorting pieces by color or shape, brings clarity and progress. Creative problem solving also thrives on play. When you let go of rigid control, your mind relaxes and begins to wander, exploring novel paths. Play sparks innovation, whether it's doodling ideas, brainstorming wild possibilities, or even daydreaming early in the morning. It's important to create space for this play. Our fast-paced, result-driven culture often dismisses daydreaming or experimentation as wasted time. Yet, those moments are the crucibles where creative breakthroughs form. Another key to unlocking creativity is collaboration. When diverse minds come together, sharing perspectives and challenging each other kindly, ideas multiply, evolve, and take shape in new ways. Creativity is a social dance, not a solitary act. Think of how great teams, from science labs to startups to communities, ignite innovation by blending different skills, experiences, and visions. Your own network holds untapped creative potential. Creative problem solving also calls for resilience. The path is rarely a straight line. You will face dead ends, setbacks, and doubts. But each failure carries lessons that refine your approach. The creative spirit treats failure not as defeat, but as feedback, a vital signal to pivot, try again, or rethink. How do you cultivate this spirit in your own life? Begin by embracing questions rather than answers. Ask, what if, and why not, more often. These simple questions unlock new doors. Practice observation. Notice small details, patterns, and anomalies in your environment. Curiosity about these details often sparks insight. Create rituals that nurture creativity. It might be a daily journal, a walk without your phone, or dedicated time for brainstorming without judgment. Surround yourself with variety, books, people, experiences that stretch your worldview. And most importantly, be patient and gentle with yourself. Creativity flourishes in an atmosphere of curiosity and kindness, not harsh pressure. Recall a time when a sudden idea changed your path. Maybe it was a new solution, a fresh perspective, or a simple insight you almost dismissed. That moment was creativity in action, a glimpse into the wellspring within you. Remember, you are far more creative than you realize. Creativity is your natural birthright, a powerful force that transforms challenges into masterpieces of possibility. As you practice creative problem solving, you will find problems shrinking even as your confidence grows. Your mind becomes a workshop, crafting new tools and building bridges where walls once stood. The next chapter deepens this journey by exploring the strength of community, how collaboration amplifies our creative power and accelerates solutions. Are you ready to break beyond limits? To see your challenges as invitations to invent, to meet life with a creative heart? Step forward now and unlock your mind's master key. Your journey continues. Chapter 7. The Strength of Community. Collaborative Solutions. Picture a single candle flickering in the darkness. Its light is fragile, a tiny glow barely pushing back the night. Now imagine hundreds of candles, each burning brightly, their flames woven together, illuminating the shadows with a powerful blaze. This is the strength of community, the collective light that reveals new paths, warms weary hearts, and dissolves isolation. In the journey of focusing on solutions, community isn't just a support system, it is a force multiplier. It expands what one person alone can see, imagine, and achieve. Alone, we face limits. Together, we break barriers. Life's most complex problems are rarely solved in isolation. They demand diverse wisdom, shared courage, and combined effort. Community offers a wellspring of perspectives, experiences, and strength that enrich creative problem-solving beyond measure. Think of the great breakthroughs of history, scientific discoveries, social revolutions, artistic movements. None of them were lone acts. They rose from collectives, networks of minds and hearts, rallying around a shared vision or challenge. Yet, community is more than numbers. It is connection, deep, authentic connection, rooted in trust, vulnerability, and mutual respect. This kind of connection creates a fertile ground for ideas to grow and solutions to flourish. Consider the story of a small village hit by drought. Alone, each farmer struggled to water crops, ration water, and survive. But together they shared resources, knowledge, and effort. They built irrigation systems, recycled water, and grew resilient gardens. What was impossible alone became possible through collaboration. Community teaches us humility, reminding us that no one has all the answers. It invites us to listen deeply, to honor differences, and to seek synergy rather than competition. This collaborative spirit sparks innovation. When you gather diverse voices, each with unique skills, backgrounds, and viewpoints, you create a mosaic richer than any single tile. The solutions born from community are often more creative, effective, and sustainable. But community also requires courage. It means opening up, sharing doubts, asking for help, and risking misunderstandings. It asks us to move beyond the safety of our individual viewpoints, to embrace the messiness of collective work. The rewards, however, are profound. Connection nurtures resilience. When setbacks come, a community can hold you steady, reminding you that you are not alone in the struggle. In our modern world, technology offers new avenues for building community. Social networks, forums, collaborative platforms create spaces where ideas flow fast and far. But true community transcends technology. It lives in the quality of presence, ethics, and intention. How do you cultivate this strength of community in your life? Begin by reaching out genuinely and intentionally. Seek those whose values, goals, or struggles resonate with yours. Invite conversation, share openly, and listen generously. Also contribute your unique gifts. Community thrives on reciprocity. When you offer your strengths, however small, you build trust and invite others to rise with you. Pay attention to the language you use. Words that include, encourage, and empower cultivate connection. Language that excludes or diminishes builds walls. It's okay to start small. A phone call, an email, a shared project, because even the tiniest spark can ignite a larger fire. Remember that community deepens empathy, the foundation for understanding problems not just intellectually, but humanly. Empathy transforms solutions from technical fixes into acts of care and justice. You are part of many communities, family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and beyond. Your openness to these connections shapes your capacity to solve problems creatively and courageously. In moments when you feel isolated, recall that a single candle's glow can start a blaze. Your voice, your heart, your willingness to connect matters. As your journey towards solution-focused living continues, know that you are not meant to walk alone. The strength of community will carry, challenge, and change you. The next chapter explores resilience reimagined, not just bouncing back, but bouncing forward, propelled by the power of solutions and the support of others. Are you ready to embrace the light of connection? To gather your candles and burn brightly together? Step forward now. The community awaits, and with it, new worlds of possibility. Your journey goes on. Chapter 8. Resilience Reimagined. Bouncing forward, not. Imagine a tree battered by relentless winds. After the storm passes, it doesn't just return to its former state. It grows stronger, its roots digging deeper into the earth, its branches reaching higher toward the sky. This is resilience, not as a simple act of recovery, but as a powerful transformation, the ability to bounce forward, propelled by every challenge faced. Resilience has long been understood as the capacity to endure hardship and return to where we once were. But this is only half the story. True resilience goes beyond bouncing back. It's about using challenges as fuel to move into new territory, to grow, evolve, and become more than before. This chapter invites you to reimagine resilience as a dynamic force, one that propels you towards solutions, growth, and strength you might never have imagined. When life throws obstacles in your path, it's natural to want to retreat, to regain what was lost, and find shelter. But what if you saw obstacles as invitations to leap higher? What if every setback carried within it the blueprint for a breakthrough? Consider the story of James, faced with a sudden job loss. Instead of longing to return to the familiar, he used this disruption as a catalyst to explore untapped passions. He studied new skills, connected with different people, and eventually started a business aligned deeply with his purpose. His resilience was not just surviving the fall, it was rising into a new, better reality. This shift from bouncing back to bouncing forward starts with mindset. It requires embracing uncertainty and seeing challenges as opportunities to refine your character and vision. Resilience is not denying pain or struggle. It is the courage to face those feelings fully and choose growth anyway. Another essential component is adaptability. Like water flowing around rocks in a stream, resilience flows, bends, and finds new paths rather than breaking. This flexibility allows you to respond creatively and persistently, even when conditions change. Science now confirms that resilient people don't just endure stress better, they use it to enhance learning and creativity. Stress hormones, when managed well, become signals to grow stronger rather than signals to collapse. Building resilience also involves connection to your inner self, to others, and to a greater purpose. These connections anchor you, remind you of your strengths, and provide resources in difficult times. Self-compassion plays a vital role. When facing setbacks, treating yourself with kindness rather than harsh judgment nurtures resilience. It opens space to learn from failure instead of being trapped by it. Daily practices that cultivate resilience include journaling to process emotions, setting intentions to guide your actions, and reflecting on past victories to build confidence. Imagine carrying an invisible backpack filled with all the lessons, strengths, and wisdom you have gained through challenges. Each experience adds to your load, but also adds to your power. Resilience deepens as you load it wisely, with courage, hope, and determination. This chapter encourages you to see yourself as a resilient creator, not merely surviving, but thriving through the art of bouncing forward. You cannot control every storm, but you can choose how you rise after it passes, steady, stronger, and ready to forge new paths. As you embrace this new resilience, you prepare for the next important step in your journey. Embedding solution-focused thinking into daily life through powerful habits that sustain transformation. Are you ready to leave behind the old idea of mere survival and step into a future shaped by resilience that propels you forward? Step with courage. Your evolution awaits. The path continues. Chapter 9: Living Solution-Focused Every Day, Habits for Lifelong Change. Every morning, the sun rises with the same steady promise. A fresh start, a new chance to shape your reality. Yet, how often do we let that promise slip away, distracted or overwhelmed by problems that feel unending? Living solution-focused isn't just a mindset for moments of crisis. It is a daily practice, a habit that, when woven into your life, turns fleeting hope into lasting change. This chapter guides you into the heart of that practice, the art of embedding solution-focused thinking into everyday life. Because real transformation is not an event, it is a rhythm, a dance between intention and action that builds over time. Think of solution-focused living like tending a garden. Each small habit is a seed. Some days it takes root silently, other days it bursts forth in visible growth. The key is persistence, patience, and love. One foundational habit is intentional morning reflection. Before the noise of the day begins, take a few moments to ask yourself, what is one thing I can focus on today that moves me toward a solution? What small action will I take? This daily question plants the seed of purpose and direction. Pair reflection with journaling. Writing down your thoughts harnesses the power of clarity. It allows you to see what's working, what needs adjustment, and to celebrate your small wins. Over time, these notes become a map of your progress, a record of your growth. Language matters deeply in solution-focused living. Train yourself to notice your inner dialogue throughout the day. Replace problem-centered phrases like "I can't" or "this is impossible" with empowering alternatives. "I'm learning," "I'm exploring options," "I can try again." Words shape your brain's pathways and influence your feelings. Positive, solution-oriented language rewires your mindset toward hope and action. Another powerful daily habit is practicing gratitude, not as a platitude, but as a way to tune your mind to what is working, what is possible. Gratitude doesn't erase problems, but it shifts your focus toward abundance, resilience, and resources you might overlook. Community connection, discussed earlier, must also become a daily practice. Reach out, share progress, ask for input. Collective wisdom and encouragement fuel your solution-focused journey and remind you that you are not alone. Equally important is managing your energy. Solution-focused living requires emotional and physical vitality. Prioritize rest, movement, and nourishing activities that sustain your capacity to face challenges with calm and creativity. When setbacks arise, and they will use solution-focused habits to pivot rather than stall, pause, reflect on what lesson the setback offers, adjust your course, then act on the new insight. Each pivot is not a failure, but a step forward. Visualization is another potent tool. Spend time imagining yourself living the solution you seek. Picture the feelings, the surroundings, the people involved. Visualization programs your brain for success and aligns your actions with your vision. Mindfulness, too, deepens your ability to live solution-focused. By grounding yourself in the present moment, you catch negative spirals before they take hold and redirect your attention to constructive pathways. These practices don't require hours of effort, just consistent, loving attention. The cumulative effect transforms your daily reality. Solutions become your habit of thought, your reflex. Remember, this is not about perfection. It is about progress. Steady, compassionate progress toward a mindset that embraces possibility, even amid challenges. A practical tip: set reminders throughout your day to check in with your focus. A simple note on your phone or a sticky note on your desk. Am I focusing on solutions right now? This gentle nudge pulls you back from distraction or despair. Over weeks and months, you will notice a shift. Problems still arise, but your response grows more fluid and empowered. You carry within you a toolkit created by daily habits that make solution-focused living your new normal. This new normal becomes your secret strength, your steady compass as life changes, challenges, and opportunities flow through. The most profound transformation happens not in grand gestures, but in these humble daily acts of focus, choice, and action. As you continue, prepare to envision the life shaped by your evolving focus. A life where problems serve to illuminate your creativity and courage, not limit them. That vision is the subject of our final chapter, the future you create through the power of focus on solutions. Are you ready to make solution-focused living not just a momentary mindset, but your daily life? Step with intention. The rhythm is yours to claim. Your journey nears a new horizon. Chapter 10. The future you create. Manifesting possibility. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing at the edge of a vast plain, stretching far beyond your sight. The winds of change blow gently, carrying whispers of possibility. Before you lies a blank canvas, untouched, waiting for your hand to shape it. This is the future you create, born from the choices you make today, from the focus you hold every moment. The power of focusing on solutions is not just about overcoming challenges. It is about consciously crafting a life of meaning, joy, and purpose. It is about becoming the architect of your own reality, designing a future that reflects your highest aspirations. This chapter draws together all we have explored. It invites you to envision a life transformed, not because problems vanished, but because you learned to navigate them with creativity, courage, and clarity. At the core of this transformation lies a profound truth. Your attention shapes your reality. Every thought you nurture, every belief you hold, every action you take ripples outward, building the foundation of your future. When you make focusing on solutions a daily practice, you activate a creative force within you, the ability to see not only what is, but what could be. Imagine an artist approaching a blank canvas. They don't see limitations, only infinite possibilities. With each brushstroke, the painting unfolds, a masterpiece born from vision and intention. Your mind is that artist, your focus, the brush, the future, the canvas. This creation begins in the unseen world of thoughts and feelings. The seeds of your future are planted with your mental images and emotions. When you dwell on solutions, your mind calls forth opportunities, ideas, and people aligned with that vision. Consider the remarkable story of Malala Yousafzai, who faced danger and adversity yet envisioned a world where every girl could learn. Her unwavering focus on solutions, education, equality, peace, created a global movement that reshaped minds and lives. You do not need to change the world overnight. The life you create starts with small choices: to focus on hope over fear, to seek answers over complaints, to act with intention over inertia. These choices accumulate, like drops forming an ocean, like bricks building a home. Your future is composed moment by moment, decision by decision. But creating this future also requires releasing what no longer serves you, the limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts that fence off possibility. It means stepping into unfamiliar spaces with trust and openness, knowing that uncertainty is part of growth. This leap is both spiritual and practical. It involves a deep alignment of mind, heart, and action. You learn to listen to the quiet guidance within, that inner compass pointing toward your true north. Visualization, affirmation, and mindful intention are powerful tools in this process. When you vividly imagine your solution-focused life, feel it as real, and commit to it with your energy, you magnetize change. Yet, this is not a solitary journey. The communities you build, the connections you foster, and the kindness you offer weave a tapestry that supports your creation. Remember, setbacks will arise, not as signs to stop, but as invitations to adapt, learn, and persist. Your future is not a fixed destination, but a living, breathing unfolding. As this audiobook draws to its close, know this: the power to create your future lies in your hands, every moment inviting you to choose focus, to focus on what empowers, builds, and heals. Let your attention become a beacon, lighting the way not only for yourself, but for others. The future you envision is not a dream far away, it is a present reality waiting for your embrace. Stand now with courage and clarity. Paint your canvas with bold strokes of possibility. Your transformation is here, alive, and unstoppable. The journey continues beyond this chapter. In every breath you take, every choice you make, step forward boldly. The world awaits the masterpiece only you can create. Chapter 11. Embracing the journey. Living with intentional focus. From the very first breath you took, life has been unfolding, a unique story written in moments of choice, challenge, joy, and growth. Now, standing on the cusp of transformation, there lies a sacred invitation to embrace this journey fully, with intentional focus and open heart. This final chapter is not an end, but a new beginning. It is a call to live, not by chance, but by design. To choose where your attention goes, how you respond, and what legacy you create. Imagine walking a winding path through a forest. The trees whisper ancient wisdom, and the air hums with possibility. At every step you choose the direction, some clear and inviting, others shadowed and uncertain. Embracing the journey means walking with presence and courage, knowing each step shapes the trail forward. Intentional focus is your most potent compass. It is the art of directing your mind toward what matters. Solutions over problems, growth over stagnation, connection over isolation. This means becoming deeply aware of where your thoughts dwell and choosing to cultivate those that empower your highest self. But it also means embracing the full spectrum of experience, the joys and the struggles, the clarity and the confusion. Life's richness comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from weaving it into the tapestry of your growth. Let go of the illusion of perfect control. Instead, trust the process, the unfolding, the learning, the becoming. Intentional focus gives you power, not by eliminating uncertainty, but by anchoring you in purpose amid it. At times, this path will be illuminated by bursts of insight, moments when the fog lifts and you glimpse your true potential. At other times, it will require quiet patience, leaning into resilience, and the steady cultivation of daily habits that keep you aligned. Remember, embracing the journey means celebrating progress over perfection. It means greeting setbacks, not as failures, but as teachers, guiding you to deepen your wisdom and expand your creativity. Your story is yours alone, yet it is intertwined with others. Intentional focus invites you to engage, not only with your own growth, but with the world around you, with compassion, empathy, and collaboration. As you move forward, carry these practices close. Pause often to breathe and realign with your purpose. Listen deeply to your inner voice and the voices of others. Celebrate every small win as a milestone on your journey. Stay curious, asking, "What can I learn? What can I create?" And above all, choose kindness toward yourself and the world. This journey is not always easy. It asks you to be vulnerable, brave, and steadfast. Yet it offers the profound gift of living with meaning, clarity, and impact. Imagine looking back, years from now. What story will you tell? A story of reaction, retreat, and regret? Or a story of intentional choice, growth, and transformation? The power lies in this moment. The choice is yours. Step fully into the journey. Live with focus, purpose, and courage. And know that with every deliberate breath, every thoughtful action, you shape not only your future, but the future of those whose lives you touch. This is your life, your journey, your creation. Embrace it with open arms and an unstoppable heart. The road ahead is bright. Walk it with intention. Your transformation has only just begun. Chapter 12, The Everlasting Flame. Sustaining your solution-focused life. There is a flicker inside you, a flame that has burned quietly, steadily, through every chapter of this journey. It's the flame of possibility, resilience, and conscious focus. Imagine it now, glowing bright against the vast darkness, not easily extinguished by storms or shadows. This flame is your power to sustain a life rooted in solutions, growth, and transformation. This final chapter draws us into the sacred art of nurturing that flame, not just to light your path for a moment, but to carry you through a lifetime. Sustaining a solution-focused life requires more than skills and strategies. It demands nourishment for your mind, heart, and soul. It asks for rituals, relationships, and reflections that keep your vision alive over time. Consider what happens to a fire when ignored. The embers fade, the light dims, but when tended with care, fed with dry wood, shielded from wind, that fire grows warm and radiant, a beacon for miles around. Your inner flame, your focus on solutions, thrives in the same way. Start by cultivating ongoing awareness. Life's noise can easily pull you back into old patterns of problem fixation. Make your practice one of gentle mindfulness, catching when your attention drifts toward what troubles, then guiding it respectfully back to what empowers. Reflection deepens this practice. Pause regularly to ask, am I living in solution focus today? What choices nourish my growth? Where do I need to adjust? These moments of honest self-check create rhythm and depth, preventing stagnation and burnout. Gratitude remains a powerful fuel. It transforms your view from scarcity to abundance, feeding joy even in small progress. Each breath of thankfulness fans the flame brighter. Remember, sustaining your flame is not about relentless striving or perfection. It is about balance, knowing when to act and when to rest, when to push forward and when to receive support. Community, the collective flame shared with kindred spirits, continues to be essential. Surround yourself with those who uplift your vision, challenge your growth, and share your commitment. Creative renewal is another vital ember. Keep exploring new ideas, perspectives, and experiences that stir your curiosity and freshen your spirit. The flame burns most brightly when fed by novelty and wonder. Emotional care nourishes the soul behind your focus. Choose kindness for yourself in hard moments and celebrate your courage in growth. In embracing this ongoing journey, you become both the flame and the keeper, a radiant source of inspiration for yourself and others. Your solution-focused life is a gift you give each day, quietly shaping a world more hopeful, vibrant, and alive. As this audiobook closes, carry this truth within. The flame you nurture today becomes the light that guides all your tomorrows. Keep it burning bright, steady, and warm, whatever storms may come. The journey you have begun is everlasting, a path of conscious creating, loving, and living. Step forward now, flame alive and heart open. The world awaits your light. Your story is just beginning.